Hey everyone, it's Crystal Neath, your intuitive tarot reader, and I am here with your daily reading for February 26, 2019. And of course, this reading is for Tuesday and for everyone watching. So we'll be looking into the overall energy of what we collectively need to be aware of to give us the best possible day. To give us the best possible day. I don't know why I want to say best possible day outcome. I'm like, what the? See, this is that Mercury stuff. I'm telling you about the Mercury retrograde and all of that. But anyway, speaking of Mercury, I have already pre-pulled our cards for time's sake. And we have the Eight of Swords in reverse. We have the Princess of Swords, Strife. And we also have the King of Wands. I'm sorry, the King of Coins. So, first card out with the Eight of Swords. This is a Gemini when they cannot make up their mind. This is a air sign when they are kind of like, oh my God, do I decide to go to pharmaceutical school, or do I decide to become a host, or do I decide to be a streetwalker? It's like they don't know what they want to do. I didn't really mean to say streetwalker, okay? So just act like you didn't hear that. But it's like they just, it's so many different things being thrown at them at one time. And it can feel overwhelming. You know, it can feel like almost like, why has everyone else figured out their path and why am I still confused? Or for people who are on their path, it can be an issue of, just feeling scattered, feeling a little disconnected from the path. But the Eight of Swords is, to me, a great card to be in reverse, because it does speak of interference being at a halt. And when I kind of look at this lineup, it makes sense. It almost looks like an energy of not letting the words of others, not letting the opinions of others, not letting people's beliefs be thrown on you, because the Eight of Swords is all about escaping out of some tense situation that has really been heavily on your mind, okay? In one sense, if it has been any type of interferences that you've been feeling, this could be like a ceasefire day, okay? Because the next card we have is the Princess of Swords. And as you see, she is having no problem at all chopping away. Let me show you this card. She has no issue at all going onto the battlefield. This is a fiery, driven Libra, Aquarius, Gemini. So we have a lot of, and I shouldn't say fiery, I should say airy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. So this is a lineup of a lot of communication. Okay, not so much passion and fire and what was I meant to do, but more like information, communication, back and forth. So any final words, let them be said, especially when this lady comes rushing in. But also, I look at her kind of like a defense, like it's having up that wall so that people won't even try to come with you, to you with the negativity, or cutting it right down. Like, I don't know how what's a good example to use, but kind of like when people set up shade or set up a situation to try to crack a joke, to make you the laughing joke, and then you end up coming back with an even harder punchline, and then they look stupid, It's kind of like that energy. But it's also saying, with the Princess of Swords, watch it, because her words are very cutthroat and she means it. So this is not a woman who you want to get in a verbal argument with, and from the looks of it, not a physical one either, because a physical altercation, because she has the fire coming off, she has the smoke just plunging her forward. So in one sense, if you have something to say, go ahead and say it, because today you might actually have the courage to go ahead and say, you know what, I like watching, what is it, AMSR. I said it. I like watching it. I watch it all the time. It was an insecurity of mine, and I'm saying it. That's what I like to do. If you want to judge me because I like listening to people whisper me to bed, then guess what? So be it. It's speaking your truth. That's a very silly example for me to use, but you get what I mean. So you can speak your truth, but let's remember the princess is just like the knight. They're very rash and quick with that. So you in a good way, you could be making quick fast decisions. You could be really knowing what is the next step, or what do you want to say, or really writing down something and being able to speak to a crowd well. Okay, and next we have Stripe in reverse. And this card is all about verbal arguments, back and forth. You said this, she said that. Why did you take my dial? I don't know why I took your dial. It's just that back and forth energy of constant, each person trying to get the last word. Okay, so people, if they're not careful, they'll use this in a negative sense and try to, you know, start something with you, or maybe have a bit of a few words with you. But I don't really feel that. I feel like it's more positive. I feel that actually, yes, you're going to have people saying, they're going to have word vomit where they're just saying things. But I feel like also, if it's anything that you need to get done when it comes to writing, paperwork, speaking, if you work in a job that's like a Mercury rule, like with communication, computers, phones, technology, this is a good day for that. Okay. Now, granted, like the work day could just fly by. You get what I mean? Like the day can just be over in a blink of an eye. Like, where did the day go? Because the swords move quickly. Okay. But I do feel like, honestly, this energy is a lineup for, I'm not putting myself in any mental prisons. I will speak my truth and go after the things that I believe in. And I will decide to rewrite my future. And I'm not going to argue with you about it. Just because you don't see how this makes sense doesn't mean that it's not my path. Because today the Princess of Swords is upright. So she's going after that thing. She's coming out of these times of tension and arguments and trying to explain. It almost makes me think about, we're in a day and age now where if you would have caught me maybe 3 years ago, I would have tried to explain to you in deep detail. Well, just please listen. Astrology is so helpful. Please listen. Tarot is so helpful to your life. But now, no. Like, I'm at a place to where I've spoken my truth. I've put it out there. I'm not ashamed of who I am or what I do. And if you are at a place in your life to where you're open to spirituality and you're open to a greater, clearer vision, then fine. If not, don't come with the crap. Just save it. So, and luckily I don't deal with this a lot, but it was the only example I could think of, so yes, definitely push forward. Speak your truth today, because let's get right to the meat. We have the King of Coins here watching. This is that Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn energy. Reminds me of Father Time, Capricorn energy. Just watching to see, have you learned your karmic lesson? Are you going to argue with that girl, or are you going to look and realize that she really doesn't know any better? You know what I'm saying? She still thinks that it is okay for her to do things that are very hazardous to her health and the way she thinks and speaks. So it's not to say, oh, you're better than somebody, but it's just to say we mature in life. We learn from our lessons. We don't want to keep repeating them. So I look at this as like that energy of either like Mercury, Virgo, or, Capricorn energy. Even Taurus, when the King of Coins is present, this is a great money day. This is a great opportunity for you to bring in some extra finances, for you to ground yourself, because the King of Coins has been there, done that. He's the one who the Queen of Swords can talk to before she went on the battlefield. He was the one that sent her. So ultimately it's all about performance today, and it's about speaking your truth, being very clear in what you mean because you don't want your words to get misconstrued from people, but coming out of a place of tension and arguments and interference from other people. So, pretty good energy, very grounded. If you notice that your thoughts are scattered or your words are scattered, get back to this King of Coins energy with the practical things, whether it's buying a new plant, meditating in the morning before you go to work, before you go to bed, doing maybe like some positive affirmations or some meditations would be very helpful. All right, you also, that's really what I see. Besides that, if you ever need to get a private reading with me, you can always do so by emailing me at crystalneath@gmail.com. Besides that, you all have a beautiful Tuesday, and I will see you tomorrow as always.